Today on A Commonly Good MTG, we're playing with a NAYA Discover deck that I've called NAYA 67. I found this over on the Aetherhub, and it said it has a 67% win rate. We'll see if that's any true. There's nothing finer than playing with a good Discover deck that just lets you slide in a bunch of expensive, cool, stompy stuff for free. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, sometimes known as Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Filmed before a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aetherhub, hosted by the MTGA assistant meta. Is called NAYA, and it has a 67% win rate. I haven't played with a good Discover deck in a while, and I thought, yeah, this one looks pretty kick-ass. Let's take it out, take off the training wheels, and see what we can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the cards in this deck. I'll talk a little bit about how it should work, and then we're going to go out and we'll crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got going on here? We got exiles every non-land permanent with a mana value of 2 or less. This thing gives a popo counter to any particular creature you have at the beginning of combat, and then if you control one that has a power of 7 or greater, you get to take whatever you hit away and pay that for free. This guy comes out for 6, which means if you tag him with fight rigging, you immediately got a 7, which means you immediately get whatever fight rigging has. Angelfire Ignition gives one of your guys 2 popo counters, Vigilance, Trampling, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste until the end of the turn. And you can play it from your graveyard for 4 rather than 3. Geological Appraiser comes out, and you discover for 3, which means you get to go through your library until you find the first thing that costs 3 or less, and you can either put it in your hand or play it for free. Notice there's a lot of free play going on here. We got Amon-Ra, the Quake-Mole. This guy's weird and interesting. Whenever he becomes blocked, you untap each creature you control. After this phase, you get an additional combat phase. And yeah, you can force them to block it if you've got 7 mana. This guy says that anybody that has to enter the battlefield that your opponent doesn't happen at all. Anything that's entered the battlefield from you happens twice, which means 2 discovers or 2 other things there. This particular Planeswalker says that whenever you play a spell from exile, such as Angelfire Ignition, then +2, -2. You can create 3/2 red-white spirit tokens that don't fly. You can -3 for a Discover 4, which is pretty kick-ass. And exile any number of target cards from your graveyard. Add 1 mana for each of those exiled this way. You may play those cards this turn, and then you can do a little vampire, because elephants are known for their vampirism skills. You gotta watch. They're called the vampires of the Serengeti, right? All right, push-pull. Destroy target tapped creature or pull 2 creatures from any graveyard into the battlefield under your control. Sacrifice. They have haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of your next end step. Cool thing if you pull a guy with Discover or some other stuff like that, you get to keep whatever they discover while these other guys go away. This guy can be a 3-point target damage to creature or planeswalker, or for 7 or 6, you can put him into play as a creature that discovers for 5. Here's a 7 you put into play, and then you can take a look at the top card until you exile a non-land card from your library and your opponent. And you may cast any number of spells from amongst the non-land cards without paying their mana cost. And we got a bunch of dual and tricolored lands. All right, so what are we doing with this stuff? We are doing a little bit of control. We're trying to get to ignite the wick of our paying absolutely nothing for awesome dudes dynamite. And fight rigging is going to get us a long way that way. Discovering is going to slide us into things, most likely Angelfire Ignition, and hopefully other super cool guys. If they die, we use pull to pull them back from the graveyard which then allows us to put out some awesome dudes and discover some more awesome dudes. It's going to be hard to keep up with. All right, so Discover decks are awesome, and this one looks pretty darn good. Before we go out and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black King Toxrol, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentations of the women. All right, we're playing against Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra. I don't even know what this guy does. Whenever Quake-Mole becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this phase, there's an additional phase. Anything I can do for 2? Not a single thing. Alright, this play's playing pixie bounce crap on us. Alright, 1 pixie gone. We got 3 more to get rid of. Alright, does this guy have removal on him? He absolutely does. Looks a lot like that. Alright, dinosaur, I guess. What do we got here? Destroy all tapped creatures. That's Nick's turn. Alright, let's put out fight rigging then. 4, 5, 6. And I've got a lot less than that. What are we going to take here? Let's grab... Everything kind of sucks. Let's just grab another fight rigging. We got 5. You can't tap the Faithbound Judge, and that guy doesn't tap as he does. I need 6 for this. That's not what I'm looking for. I can discover some stuff. He doesn't have enough tap that I care. Let's just put this guy out. What are we rocking here? All right. Temporary lockdown. Good times. Alright, we're never going to be allowed to have a creature, so we'll just do that. Cancel. Should we just bring them out? Let's bring out the boys. Alright, discover. That's what we get to discover out of the deal here. Sure, let's pump them up. Pump, pump, pump. Gone. Let us throw that one over there. Take these two to the throat. All right, so we could peel back that onion, which is the planeswalker over there. He might be able to get in front of it, in which case then I'll only score 2 points on it. But he's letting it go. All right, there we go. 11 straight up. It can attack. All right, I'm down to 3. All right, so this gives us haste. I could put out the 6. 1, 2, 3. I need 4 for this. Let's just pile it all up right here. Not enough. I get life gain out of the deal. That's pretty cool. All right, so that's 1 to you, but 13 for me. He's looking for anything that'll help. We just gotta get him to waste his mana. He's only got 3 mana left. You gonna force me to discard the Hammerskull? I am down to 5. There's Trample again. You're not gonna like it. Pow pow! In for 14. And we win! Suck it, Amon-Ra. In your face! Alright, we're playing against Koen. Oh no, it's mono red aggro. Again. Alright, number 3 for us gets us into... I can kill... Let's just do Fire Rigging. We got a little bit of life left. What are we going to pull here? Let's pull a Trumpeting Rex. Alright, there's 0 reason to play. There's 0 reason to play. This will be fun though. Let's do it. Alright, there he just lost all of his creatures. Can I survive off of 1 life? 1 life. Can I do it? No, that's not going to do me any good. Man, I'm more likely to kill myself at this point. Alright, 14. I'm up to 7 because I had life gain off that. Nice. And we win. Suck it, Mono Red. Suck it. we are playing against Oups. Oops. Oups. Can't even get a guy until 4. This is probably a really bad idea. Alright, I got 2 guys at 4. This can kill a tapped creature. But it's even then it's a sorcery. Makes it horrible. Okay, we don't have enough mana to pay for our cheapest guy. Okay, 1 guy. Gain a little life off of this guy, wouldn't be bad. Let's just kill this while we have the opportunity. No attacks. So I'd love to, the question is, do I need to go after Malcolm with the Trumpasaur? All right, there's 5. Elesh Norn, because she's got a good butt. And we'll say no to the defense. I just want him to be stunned by the lack of dinosaurness. I mean, 1 more, we get out the Trumpeting Carnosaur would be great. We can start discovering. All right, we're in attack phase. There they come. Sure, let's give it up. Give it up, yo. You go for the super pump? Got white, man. I don't know if you... Oh, you do have red in there, huh? I'm doing fine as far as what he's showing here. No attacks. I'm just not attacking because I don't want to lose the Hammerskull. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't have 7. I'm down to 8. I gotta go for Angelfire Ignition at this point. Up. That's 16. Oh, you're gonna take it. Good for you. I can block, can't I? All right, it's not a good situation for you. You got to keep your guys back to defend. You don't have the ability to kill me. You're not good off. We could go for the attack, huh? Mm-hmm. We really hate that Quake-Mole. All right, here we go. Trumpeting Carnosaur. Welcome back to the battlefield. You don't have haste, though. All in. Don't wipe the board. I'll be disappointed in you. I will call your mother. And one more mana if we're going to use the Quake-Mole appropriately. Let me go for a quick discover on this guy. All right, and you're going to just sit there and block my guys? Wait, he doesn't count? All right, so I've got 6. This is going to cost me 3 to do it. I can only do 1 Angelfire Ignition. I might as well. I need that life. Get him with the 9. He's indestructible. You don't have to block. You can just suck it up. All right, you're down to... We'll be 5 in a second. There you go. I'm back up to 19. 19. 19. 19. I don't like the way you're looking at my graveyard. You know what Geological Appraisers are going to do? They're going to go get some more Angelfire Ignitions. You got a lot of mana. Yeah, my dudes have 8 for toughness. Let's see, even if we pick up 1 more mana, it's not going to help us out too much. And we picked up 1 more mana. Alright, I'm going to put it on our pal. Oh, this is what we're getting? Alright, fine. Come on, something good. What's it going to be? Another Geological Appraiser, apparently. Looking for an Angelfire Ignition. There it is. Right there on your boy. And we win. Potty pants, potty pants. Victory. Alright, we are playing against JimmyDean, the Sausage King. We'll keep it. I mean, fight rigging with no creatures, that's a little rough. I mean, hopefully we'll pick up a 4th mana. There we go. It was going to be slow regardless. Let's put out fight rigging now. This guy wants to kill. All right, let's go surveil the future. Yet another land, huh? All right. Oh, well, that's not good. I took it. I guess I knew it was coming. It'll be fast. We're picking up a lot of lands right now, aren't we? Yet another. There you go, big boy. Except there's nothing I could do with you other than let you get killed. You want a bat, you can send your evangelist over. Alright, cool. Quake-Mole. There comes the slide. Nice. It's only a couple guys we're going to take from that, but maybe even just one. Good enough to overstuff. Victory! Alright, we're playing against TNT. It's dynamite. I remember you used to hiss at me. Am I just remembering it wrong somehow? These guys are 6s. That's a long way to go. Guess might have to shoot something, but he's gonna play with a bunch of little dudes. Would be my guess. Alright, Hammerskull, whenever I get off of the fight rigging, it's going to be cool. That's going to be super cool. Discover, discover, discover! Yow! Alright, I took all the licks I could take here. Let's throw this guy out. And there we go. All the above sounds really good to me. Doesn't cost me 2. Okay, I can deal with that. And we win. Suck it, TNT. Boom, boom. Goes the room. Alright, we are playing against Sweetie95 at iCloud.com. Let's send him some emails. 23. Nice. Really, for this hand, this is a great opening hand for this deck. Can't do anything till 3, but at least it's 3. Usually it's 4. Sometimes 7. Oh, Stewie, not Sweetie. I'm sorry. I get those things mixed around sometimes. Nope. Night-night. All right, Copperline Gorge. Sounds good on the next one. This says mana, right? Mana of 2 or less. Doesn't matter what that guy is. Okay, these guys are all 2 or less manas. Great. Let's see what he does. Eventually he's going to get out bigger guys, but it doesn't make a difference how big they are. What matters is how much mana it costs to put them out. Alright, we're just going to have to pin these guys down. Alright, so we only have 1 creature left. He's killed 2 of them so far. No, just 1. Thought I had 2 out. He's looking for mana badly. Alright, go give me some other guy. That'd be really cool, man. Put in hand. All I gotta do is screw this guy over. Hopefully he plays a lot of little dudes again. Looks like he's about to ossify this guy. He didn't touch his land, though. He did touch my guy. Let's go to town. Want to do it again? Sure. Too bad I get double life gain out of the deal. I should have really held back. That's what I should have done. Cool. We're going to lock this guy down like crazy. I don't know. Let's go for Phyrexian, sure. You think he'll actually do it? Nope. Good for us. Alright, I got an Angelfire Ignition. It looks like you're going to die next turn. Nothing. Let's lock it down, boys. And we win! Boom, boom! Goes the room. Alright, so here we are at NAYA 67. And I did not get 67% win rate off this deck. I only got 58, discounting all of the mono red decks I had to go against. This thing did not do well against anything that was super aggro. It just because, you know, it usually took 3 or 4 mana to even put out your first card. And by then, with the hasty mono red prowess deck, usually you were dead. There's nothing you could do against it. You needed to go against something that gave you a little bit of time. So I just discounted that just to even give it to 58%. With playing against the mono red decks I went against tonight, 47. So yeah, this deck was great, provided you weren't going against super aggro decks. It was pretty decent. All right, so let's talk about it a little bit. Who is the MVP? Who is the most valuable player? I got to say, from a pure value perspective, it was probably Geological Appraiser. Just because I'd actually get a creature out and he would discover. Many times he would get his Angelfire Ignition, which would immediately give him haste and trample and lifelink. Yeah, this guy was the guy that usually saved my butt more times than anything else. He was kind of a wuss. I was really looking forward to getting some of the other guys out there, but still, he was the guy that, for the most part, made the deck work better. That was his name. Anzarag was always sucked. He would get killed. It was nothing for everybody to kill him, and they always went after him like crazy. If anything, this guy was a good lightning rod that just sucked up all the damage. Angelfire Ignition, I mean, probably was my go-to great card because all the rest of the deck of the cards pretty much brought this one out. So it wasn't necessarily the MVP card as far as trying to play it, but it was what the MVP cards were getting. So yeah, I'm still going to go with Geological Appraiser as being the MVP of this particular deck. All right, so congratulations, belly shirt dude. You are going to Disneyland. All right, was this deck competitive? I have a really hard time saying it. Look, I picked it up off of Aetherhub, and it was off there. They said it was a 67% win rate deck. I thought, cool, man. I wanted to play Gruul. I wanted to play something good. And it did very well sometimes. But I can tell you, when there's so many times that you couldn't do anything until you had 4 mana. And you don't have ramp in here. You have no ramp whatsoever. So you had Discover. And Discover's fantastic. But even then, you got to get your Discover guys out. And that takes at least 4. I mean, you could go for fight rigging and go, ooh, I'm going to fight rig. But guess what? You had nothing until you had at least 4 mana to put out creatures. So 4 was the magic number for this deck, and 4 is a long time to wait to do anything. I mean, I guess you got 3 for the Pugnacious Hammerskull, and this is your combo is these 2 guys right there. But I mean, that's 8 cards out of a 60-card deck. You can't. It's not a guarantee. It's not a lock. There's no chance you're going to get it on turn 3 and 4. It didn't happen the vast majority of the time. All right, so was it competitive? I'm going to put this out as just being like a 50% deck. You flip a coin whether you're going to win or not. That's all there is to it. All right, was this deck fun? Yeah. I mean, I'd say yes, it is a fun deck. My problem with it is that you couldn't do anything until turn 4. And you had to make sure you got the mana because you have 0 ramp in this thing. Nothing was helping you get that mana out, so you just had to get it the old-fashioned way and wait until turn 4 to put out anything decent. Once you got to turn 4, things started to cook pretty quickly. And with Discover, you're able to get guys out and start things just rolling. I like to call it, you can get slides going, where you put out a guy, then Fight Rig and put a thing on it, and then it would allow you to pull a dude out like the Trumpasaur, which then he would get a guy out, at which point then it would be, you get another guy, possibly the Geological Appraiser, then he would discover something, which would be like Angelfire Ignition, and then you could take that and throw it on the Trumpeting Carnosaur, and go in for 9 lifelink indestructible with Trample. Yeah, I mean, that was a glorious time. That's probably the best thing about a good Discover deck is sliding through all the various effects that they can happen as they come into play for practically free. That was tons of fun. All right, so let's go to the next one. Was this deck interesting? I mean, I played Discover cards. This one had Anzag in there. I would have loved to have played him where you can play the 7. It's just that with no ramp, it was incredibly hard to get up to 6 mana, let alone 7 mana. He scared the hell out of everybody. So people usually try to kill him. Like I said, this guy's a lightning rod. He was probably the most interesting card in here. The big thing is he definitely helped out fight rigging a bunch. But he doesn't have Discover on his own, but he's one of those guys like the Pugnacious Hammerskull that you could get out for 4 or less mana, which would then make the fight rigging trigger off whatever you got going on and get everything else kind of going beyond that. Push, when specifically pull. I wanted to do pull, but in general, I needed push more than anything else. Destroying target tapped creature. At first, I thought this thing did all tapped creatures. I thought it was like a weird board wipe. That is not the case. It only lets you take out 1. Pull is by far the coolest thing you can do. But even then, your guys only last 1 time. But the thing is, so when they have Discover, they will go and get other guys and leave guys behind at that point. So altogether, pull with the Discover deck is fantastic. But it's 6. So we're paying 6 and 6 and 7 and 5. Just everything is so expensive in this deck. It makes it really difficult. All right, so let's add that up. Was this deck competitive? Not really. Was this deck fun? Yeah, it got to be pretty fun. It just wasn't aggro enough for my liking. And lastly, was it interesting? It was a cool Discover deck. It had this guy in it, which isn't new, but just nobody ever plays with. And it has a little bit of this push-pull. Altogether, that was pretty cool. I'm not going to call it super interesting, though, but it was a good deck. All right, so let's add that up. So Not necessarily competitive. Fun it was, and not terribly interesting. I'm going to give this deck a B+. It's a B+ deck. I still think it's worth playing. The fun quotient to it was really good, but you're just not going to rank with this deck at all. So there you go, B+ deck. If you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have as much fun with it as I did. That is all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.